Good morning, friends. Welcome to GoOnlineTrainings.com. Today, let us discuss on various control flow items which are available in our SSIS tool. So let me go to SSIS. Now we have lots of tasks are available when you go to the control flow tab. We have a data flow task, we have execute SQL task, and we have analysis services processing task, and we have bulk insert task, and we have data profiling task, we have execute package task, execute process task, expression task, file system task, FTP task, script task, send mail task, and web service task, and XML task. So apart from this task, we have also few containers in this. We have for loop container and for each loop container and sequential container. And whenever you click on data flow task, you will be getting some kind of a information over there. So moves data between sources and destinations while transforming and cleaning. Data can be moved between tables and files with efficiently processing the data in memory with transformation. So this is some description about this task. So when you click on execute SQL task, it's going to give you execute SQL statements or stored procedures in a relational database. Okay, for example, truncate table before starting a load or create a foreign key relationships, blah, blah, blah. So whenever you click on something, what is the purpose it's going to give you? So you can also read. Let us understand what is the purpose of, of data flow task. So as we know, all data flow tasks, so we have various tasks we have discussed. So these are the tasks we have to work, and the first task is data flow task. It is used to perform ETL operations. It has sources, destinations, and transformations. Okay, so data flow task where you can, take the data from the different source systems. Source can be database or source can be files also. And you can take the data, you can move the data to the different to the different destinations. The next task would be execute SQL task. So it is used to execute SQL statements, so SQL statements like DDL, DML, TCL, DCL, and you can call a stored procedure, you can call a function, you can have, truncate statement, delete statement, blah, blah, blah. So it performs batch operations. It is very, very fast. Okay. So batching operations we'll discuss in the class. Okay. So this is execute SQL task. If you have a stored proc, you should be able to do something there. Okay, so are you clear? So this is what is execute SQL task. Now, let me go to the third task would be analysis services task, process task. When you go to this, and the third task would be analysis services task, where you have a cube which is prepared or created in SSAS that you wanted to call from here to processing purpose. We're going to learn in SSAS how to process the cube and all. So then we'll see this task. Then the next one is a bulk insert task. Let us understand what a bulk insert task. Used to import text files data into SQL Server tables. So when you have uh, lots of text files are there, flat files are there, that data you wanted to, dump into SQL Server. So advantage is it is very, very faster than the data flow task, can get a range of rows. And disadvantage is that source must be a flat file or text file, and destination must be a SQL Server table, and cannot validate, clean, or transform the data with this task, and cannot get error rows separately. Okay, so when you have a data which is there in the flat files, only in the notepads or text files, that is where you have to use the data. Okay, now as you know, you have to aware that we'll be getting the data in two sources. One is you may get the data from the SQL. SQL means I'm talking about databases. So you'll get the data from databases or you'll get the data from files. So the databases means we're talking about any database. It can be, you may have Oracle, or you may have SQL Server, or you may have MySQL. So any database you can connect, you can get the data. But second way, you should be able to get the data using a file. File can be a flat file, or which can be a Excel file, okay, or it can be an XML file, or it can be a raw file also. What is a raw file? You're going to understand. So 30% of the data in the world is completely in the DBs, and remaining 70% of the data which is available in files. So not only you can have YouTube data, that is also file. You can have a sound file, image file. You can have structured, unstructured, semi-structured data. Lots of data which is available in the files. Okay, but you have more and more data is available in the flat files. So only specially for the flat files, they have given bulk insert data. So why flat files? Because more data is in the flat files only. Okay. For to dump the flat file data, we have to use bulk insert data, bulk insert task only. This task is there to address the flat files only. So when you use bulk insert task, and let us see, and we have, it is very very faster than the normal data flow task. You can take a data flow. In the data flow, you can take a source as a file and you can dump the data, but that is not very faster. So they're specially designed only for that files. Okay, bulk insert task is prepared, can get range of rows. What is the meaning of that? Can get, for example, I wanted to have fifth row to 10th row, or I wanted to have 10th row to 20th row, like that. Source must be a flat file or text file. Destination must be a SQL Server table, and cannot validate, clean, or transform the data. So let us do small demos on this one by one. Okay, so let us do a small demo on the data flow task. We'll do it later. So let us do a small demo on the execute SQL task. Let me go here, and you have to go. And first of all, you have to go to the Solution Explorer, and what has happened here? So let me close something and create a new project. So file, new project, and you have to choose business intelligence and click on this. Let us put SSIS demos. Okay, for online batch. So we have to create like this. And you're able to create. Then you will have Solution Explorer, and you have one package. Let me rename this package to demo number one. Say execute SQL task. Okay, you have to do like this, and you have to go to the control flow. Data flow task will work later. The first demo, let us do on demo number one on execute SQL task. Let us do on this. Now you go here and drag and drop execute SQL task, and let me open SQL Server also here. And whenever you get any task here, by default, which will be having a red symbol. Okay, red symbol means which is not configured correctly. So let me open SQL Server now. So it is, I think, getting opened. Click on SQL Server. I'm connecting to my local SQL Server, and let me take some databases. I have lots of databases. So I have any data here. So let me take one database which I can use in the databases. So I have some database here, and select star from EMPL. So this is my data. I have some data here. Fine. So now what I'm trying to do, I am planning to have this here, and just go back. And when you drag and drop execute SQL task, I'm planning to delete the data using this demo. So what is the purpose of execute SQL task? You can do any kind of a SQL command. So drag and drop, double click on this. I wanted to delete the data which is there in employee table. So you have to go to connection type is OLEDB. So you're able to connect and take the connection and click on new connection here. And you have to know where you want it to connect to. So click on new, so that your boss will tell you in the company. You have to connect to the local SQL server. You have to use dot symbol. Dot means local SQL server, or you can give the IP address or the computer name also. This name the customer supposed to give you, or the boss has to tell you, the manager has to tell you, your lead has to tell you. So I'm going to use my local SQL server, And if you wanted to connect to different things, then you can also have, when you connect to this, you can have different data sources. For example, if you wanted to connect to Oracle, you should be able to use this driver. So when you use this driver, so the screen disappears and you will get the new screen. Like that, you should be able to connect to different databases there. Okay. Now go. I'm using GoLDB connection, new connection, and click new. And by default, I'm using SQL Server driver. I wanted to connect to SQL Server and click here and go. And I have lots of databases. My databases, I'm going to use iBank database and test connection so that test connection is succeeded and you're able to ping and click on OK. Now the connection is established. It is localhost.ibank. Now, when you go to the SQL statement, this is the where I should be able to write one statement. So what is the statement I am planning to write? Delete from EMPL. So this is what the statement I wanted to use. So go here. I wanted to run this. Delete from EMPL. So click on OK. Now the red button gone. So now save. And before that, you can add some kind of annotations. So right click on this. Annotation means some kind of a commentings. So add annotation. So you can have like this. So this package will delete all data from EMPL table. So what it is that it's going to do, that you have to write it there and just put it there. If you wanted to increase the font, right click on this and you have to go to set a text annotation font. You should be able to go here and increase the font. Or if you wanted to make it still bold, go here, right click on this and make it to bold and increase the font just like that. Some kind of annotations you can have, and you can also have author, okay, who has created the package. Author is Bhaskar Jogi. These are very, very important. So whenever you prepare a package, date creation, you can give, say, August 4th, 2016, something like that. You should be able to give author and the purpose and everything. This is what is called annotations. So right click on this, add annotation. You should be able to give one more annotation here. Clear? And when you go here, right click on this and you have to say rename. So you can simply say executes equal task, and you can also put some hyphen here, delete all rows from employee. Like this also should be able to write. Now you had configured what all you have configured. When you double click on this, you had configured the connection, you have configured the SQL statement. That's it, only these two, and you are now. So when you give the connection here, the connection is created separately here. Have you seen this? So I told you all connections are created separately over there. So double click on this, you should be able to get the server name and the database name. Tomorrow, if you wanted to modify, you need not go here and modify. Simply you come here and you double click on this, you modify something here, and test connection automatically. The same name, localhost.ibank, this is what is got referred here. So let me go and right click and rename. So this is a source underscore ibank. So something like that I have renamed. Source underscore ibank. So when you go here, automatically you'll get source underscore ibank. Okay. When you change something here, so it will automatically refer the same thing here. So this is what you have to understand. All the connections will be maintained here. You simply go here and rename the properties. If you wanted to change tomorrow, you should be able to double click on this, change tomorrow. Fine. Now save the package. Now you have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is there. Now, whenever you execute a package, now you will get one more window. Watch. That window is known as a progress window. Now, I'm executing a package. Now the package got executed. You will be able to get like this. Now, when you click on this, it is a progress window available now. Now it is saying it is successfully executed. Are you getting this? Now, so you're in this mode. Now you have to stop debugging to go back to the normal mode. You will get one more window, progress window. When you click on this, it is telling you validation started. Then it is doing some kind of a validations. Then it is executing the query. Then it is finished. And It has taken 359 milliseconds, and this is the progress. Progress means some kind of a logging. So you have to go to the control flow and click on stop debugging to come to normal mode. If you wanted to execute the package, click on start and you have to stop. So when you have done, when you execute this data was there. Now, no more data. Let me insert some data here. So you should be able to understand how it is working fine. So insert into EMPL values. Okay. So now you can have some data here. So say you have John and say some 10,000 bucks and insert some data. So, and come here, you should be able to have David, we have say 20,000 bucks. So like that, you should be able to insert some data. Now the data is here. Okay. Now I wanted to go to SSIS package. I wanted to again start. Okay. It is executed successfully fine. And you can see the control flow. It has taken only less time now. And you can click on stop debugging or you can package completed. Click here to switch to design mode. Either you click on this or you can also click on this link so that you should be able to go to that and the progress bar will become execution results when you stop debugging. So go to control flow. It is done. Go to here and let us execute this. Now it has done. So the question is, why are we going to the SQL server and deleting the data? We can also use the same command and delete the data. We can also you write delete command here and we should be able to delete the data. But why are we doing it there? The question is, sometimes before loading the data, I wanted to delete the data from the target table. Okay, so to perform this kind of an operations, I wanted to use this task. Before loading up the data, I wanted to delete all the data from the target table and I have to dump the data. So this is the purpose of this task. Now, let us work on bulk insert task. That is the next step. So what is the bulk insert task we had seen? Analysis services task we'll see later. So now bulk insert task as we discussed, it will take source must be a flat file only. Okay. Advantage faster than the data flow task. So disadvantage is what? So source must be flat file, destination must be SQL server. You cannot clean data, you cannot transform the data, cannot rows any errors are there that you cannot get it. But you can dump all the data to the SQL server and there you should be able to clean and do lots of things after putting the data into the destinations. So let me quickly do second demo on this. Let me go here and you have to go to Solution Explorer. So right click on this and new package. Now you have to come here, right click and you have to say rename and say demo 2 on bulk insert task. When you go here and you have you have to go to this. If this is not there, I told you, if this is not there, you have to click on this button SSIS toolbox. You will be able to get this. If it is not there, and one more thing you can do, go here, right click on this and SSIS toolbox, you should be able to get. So by default everything will be closed. You have to expand this and drag and drop bulk insert task first. Okay, so now double click on this. You have to have one file there. So let me create one file. So let me create one folder called SSIS source is my folder name. Okay. Now here I want to create one data file. Normally these files will be given by customers. So I would like to have employee ID, employee name, employee salary. Okay. So I wanted to have one, say John salary some 10,000 bucks. Two, we have Salman, say 3,000 bucks, and we have say Lata, we have 4,000 bucks like that. I have some data there. Okay, so always we have to get this file from the people and save. So I have only three columns: employee ID, comma name, comma salary. So this is data I have. So this data is available one source folder, SSIS source. Okay. Now this is available in detail. So click quickly, go here. So double click on this, and you should be able to double click on this and go to connection tab. And here you have to provide the file, and here you have to provide the destination connection. Now the file is ready. Go here, new connection, and the existing file. Yes, go to the browse and go to D drive, and SSIS source is available here. So I have my file, choose this file, click on OK, and this is the complete path you have to understand. Okay. Okay. Now the file is having a delimiters as the separator or a delimiter is comma. So here the column delimiter is tab, that you have to change it to comma. Now I have to go to the connection. So I wanted to create a new connection here. So when I go to the new connection, already iBank is there. If it is not, you can take one more connection. So go to server name dot, and this time I wanted to use my company database as destination database and test connection. And now I'm able to go to this. Now I have to create one destination table there. So when I go to the, so let me close this. Now, new, I have to go to company database. Now, when I go to company database, I don't have any table. So let me create a table here. So use company and go. I wanted to create a table, say employee destination table. This is the name of the table I am planning to have. Okay, and open the bracket, close the bracket, and go. I wanted to have only those three columns. What are they? I wanted to have employee ID and say you can say varchar. So as of now, no convert, get the data as it is, put some default numbers, no primary key, foreign key, and name. So, so as of now, simply dump the data because we don't know how much data you have there, and salary. Three columns we have. So I have created. So employee ID, name, salary as it is. Don't change any columns, any data conversions as of now. So this is the table I have created. Now come down and read the data once again. Select start from. So the table name is this. Control C and Control V. You have created a blank table here. When you created a blank table, the same table name you have to give. So when you go to the destination table, you should be able to get employee destination, click, and column delimiter is comma, because in my this one I am putting a comma. So this is what is called column delimiter, that you have to give it here. Now click on options. When you go to the options tab, it is saying first row equals to 1, but I wanted to give you first row equals to 2. Why? Because when you go here, this is my first row. I don't want to take that. My first row equals to this. Sometimes you get the data without this. If this is not there, then there is no problem. If this is not there, this is the data you should be able to get from the first row. But unfortunately, we have first row starting from here. So we have to provide first row equals to 2. Then last row, when I say 4, that means it's going to read second row, third row, fourth row. If I give 0, it will go to the last record. It will go to till last record and dump all the data. Then we have a batch size here. Batch size means by default it is 0. It will take whatever batch size is configured at the server level, it's going to take. Otherwise, it's you can give the batch size some 20,000, 30,000 rows. What is the meaning of that? When you say like that, at a time it will pick up say 20,000 rows or 10,000 rows, it will pick up and it's going to dump the data. Are you clear? So when you have the batch size, it is very, very fast. For example, I'm making some, some item in the kitchen, and I'm going and serving it to the people. So if I make one pizza and I'm coming and serving it there, so 100 times I have to make. So instead of that, I make 5 pizzas and come and give it to you. So that's batching. Batching means what? Instead of taking 0 means default default size it'll take, but normally you can, if you know the how much data you wanted to take at a time, that you can configure here. Okay, so you can get, if you give, I wanted to have fifth row to 10th row, then you have to take fifth and 10th, you have to give like this, or 100th row. So normally we give 0, that is still last row, and this is the second row. Okay, so General tab, nothing is there. In the connection tab, we had given source connection and destination connection, and the options tab we had given and first row and last row and batch. These three you have to understand and click on OK. Now, when you see, one is employee file. So employee log, employee.txt is created. When you go here, this is what is the path. Okay. So you can also modify. You can rename this. This is source file. Okay. Now here, rename this as destination underscore say company. Like that you should be able to give. When you change, automatically this would get changed. Source file and destination company, and the comma is always there. So let me save and execute the package. So when you have tons and tons of data, this is very, very faster. Click on progress bar. You should be able to get from here. It is able to get the data and load the data into here. So everything is perfectly fine. Go to the control flow and click on this button. You should be able to go here and see what is the data in this table you have. Okay. You have all the data which is available in this table. Now, can I execute once more? Why not? So go here. You should be able to execute. But when you execute once more, what is going to happen? You should be able to get the duplicate values here because there is no primary key, foreign key. You're able to get the duplicate values. But the question is that I wanted to delete the existing data prior to loading. So for that purpose, normally before loading of the data, I wanted to delete the data. For deleting, already we know execute SQL task. First I have to run. So second I have to run. So then I have to give a link. If you don't give a link, everything is parallel. So first I have to run, then I have to run this. So double click on this. Now go to the connection. I have to go to the destination connection and delete all the data. Delete from table name. What is the table name? The table name is this. Control copy and go and paste. Okay. Instead of delete command, normally people would use truncate. Truncate command is very, very faster to delete the data. So truncate table name. Okay. Delete from table name, truncate table. Both of them are going to delete the data, but this is very fast command. Truncate table name. Now it is going to delete all the data. It's going to load all the data. You can say, so it is going to be used for deleting. Delete rows from target. Okay. This you can also press F2 rename. Okay, and come here rename and load all rows to target. Okay, now save, execute. When you save and execute, you should be able to delete all the data here. You should be able to load the data, stop here and go. And now you don't have any duplicates. Are you seeing? Now, you can also execute only this task. Right click on this and execute only this task. That is also possible. Okay, this is not executed. Now stop and go here. The data is no more. You can also go here and execute the second task. Right click on this and you can execute only the particular task. So only this. Now stop. Now you go, you have some data. Now let me come here, execute again only this task. Right click on this, execute. Now this time you'll have duplicates. So some kind of a troubleshooting purpose. I wanted to execute whether this is working perfectly, whether this is working perfectly. You can, test one by one package execution. So then this is the better thing to understand whether each task is working perfectly or not. Now you have duplicates. Or you can also do one thing, right click on this. You can also disable the task. When you disable the task, when you start debugging here, and this is not executed, only this task is executed. That is also fine. Now you can see lots of duplicates here. Okay. Now let me go back. You can right click on this and enable the task. And you can just come here and you can disable this task. So all these are you should be able to do and click on start. Okay. Now stop debugging. When you go here, you should be able to get things done. Clear? So this is how you can set lots of the properties over there. So, and let me enable this task and save and start working on this. You should be able to load all the data from here now without having any data. So this is the data, you should be able to get it. Now I wanted to add some new row here. So say fourth one, say Bhaskar. I wanted to have say some 12,000. So I have say Aman with some data I would like to save this file. Okay, now let me close, and I have some data here. It is going to delete all the data and load this data freshly. So go here. Now stop debugging and go back here, and you have to watch like this. Clear? So you got the new entries also like that. So whenever you have this kind of a data, you should be able to do it. Okay, so we'll stop it from here. Do you have any questions to ask, guys? So simple demos we're able to plan.
Bhaskar, one question.
Please go ahead.
Uh, uh,